It is 6:31 this morning. Now, a lot of people may need to get out today. You have to run some last-minute errands because, we need a few provisions sometimes.
Of course, yes. I was
busy.
at the store yesterday, and it was crazy. So let's go to 5 News reporter Claire Everbach, who's live this morning in Fayetteville with a look at what to expect.
Good morning, Emily. Good morning, Joe. It is certainly cold out here. Even though that weather hasn't quite hit us yet, I can certainly feel the wind chill. As you can see, I have all of my gear on, and I feel like my cheeks are gradually getting a little bit more red with every live shot. So already feeling the impact of that weather. I actually spoke with the hardware store in Fayetteville, who say that there are little things you can do ahead of the storm that can make a big difference later and prevent a lot of problems. The biggest concern for a lot of people this time of year is frozen pipes, which employees say can often be prevented with faucet covers. But there are also other dangers that come with such low temperatures. Jonathan Walker and Melissa Allen work at the hardware store in Fayetteville. They say in addition to protecting your pipes, there are a few other things people should keep in mind, both at home and in the car as the storm moves in.
I'd say if you've got alternate sources of heat like a stove, make sure those are clean because there are fires that can start with the dirty like a chimney. So make sure those are clean and those are actually working.
Keep a blanket in your car when you're traveling. Make sure your tank's full.
Keep your phones charged.
Keep your phones charged.
Keep an eye on social medias.
Well, like I said, we still have a few hours before the snow and ice hit. So even though it might be cold, you still have time to get out there, go to the grocery store, go to the hardware store, get anything you need to stock up for this weather. Live in Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
All right, stay warm out there, Claire. Thank you for that. Now, with this winter storm, we're not expecting any major power outages in our area, hopefully.
Thankfully, hopefully. But that being said, SWEPCO says they are on standby. They're ready to respond if any lights do go dark in the state. They've been equipping their truck tires with chains so that way linemen can navigate through the snow that falls. And while they're urging you to stay off the roads, linemen say if you have to be out, be extra careful and watch out for them in case they get called out to help to get the power back on.
Yeah, preparations underway in counties all over our area, but this morning we're going to check in first with Sebastian County.
Yeah, we have Travis Cooper with Emergency Management there joining us live from Fort Smith. Good morning to you there, Travis. Let's talk about the preparations you guys have already done, obviously, this week. What are some things you guys are planning ahead of the weekend specifically?
Yeah, so real quick on our road department crews, they've been out the last couple of days just monitoring and putting some applications on the roadways. We understand that throughout today and then of course overnight hours they're going to be working in 2 different shifts, and so you'll see our road crews out there at the street department level all the way to the RDOT level. And so with that being said, be extra cautious out there. We do have some warming centers in Fort Smith available, and then also some shelters for emergency support on standby here in that local area.
All right, Travis, real quick, I want to ask you, now we have to remember, heaters, space heaters and such, a lot of people using those right now. You guys have actually worked a couple of house fires already.
Yeah, so we had a house fire yesterday around 10:30 to 11 o'clock, and then again last night around probably right up into midnight hours, and a lot of the firefighters didn't get home until about 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning. And so we understand that as you make your own preparations at home, you may do some things around the area, around even the outside of the home for your pets. Make sure if it is space heaters or heat lamps or whatever the case is, make sure that you are well prepared on what you're doing and how you're doing it.
All right, Travis, thank you so much for that. We appreciate that. We'll check back in with you here in just a little bit. Now let's go ahead and check in with the Arkansas Department of Transportation. They've been working around the clock.
Of course, they've been working around the clock. Let's get to Dave Parker now with RDOT joining us again this morning. Thank you for joining us again. Let's talk about these very busy roadways, 49, 540. What are the ways that RDOT is preparing to specifically target those areas?
Days and days of pre-treating with salt brine. It doesn't sound super exciting, but that's what we've been doing since Wednesday, Thursday. We'll continue that today. We'll really focus on those trouble spots, kind of get down more specific on and off ramps, areas that are prone to ice up a little quicker. Anything around the Bobby Hopper Tunnel, got to keep that moving. So today is our day to kind of specialize in that, to kind of get ready for everything. And for you, the driver, the motorists, today should be relatively good weather-wise. So take care of all your final planning so that tonight you can kind of hunker down for the weekend and be safe.
Yeah, Dave, really good advice there. And let's talk a little bit about the mixture, the treatment that you guys have been using out on the roadways. I know that you guys switched here a few years back. It works great, but what is that mixture made of?
Well, we start out with traditional salt prime, which is basically salt water. That's our go-to. But with temperatures getting this low, we'll probably increase either the ratio of that. We'll create super brine. That's the beet juice. Beet juice mixed with the salt brine. It lowers the freezing temperature. It makes it a little more difficult for the roadway to freeze. It lowers the temperature to 18 to 20 degrees roughly. If it gets, we're going to get even colder than that. We may have to increase that ratio, make that even stronger. Maybe even rock salt. We've got 4 or 5 different things in our tool belt that we may have to use this weekend. But, we'll plow down as low as we can get a thin layer of snow, and then burn it, so to speak, with that super brine, with that beet juice. And it really works well in these conditions. But when we get down to 5 degrees Sunday night, Monday morning, nothing really works well.
All right, thank you so much, Dave. We'll be checking in with him for the rest of this morning on 5 News Plus, so you'll want to make sure you have that downloaded on your TV and your phone so you can continue to get this great advice. Thank you again so much for joining us, Dave.
All right, those temperatures will be dropping fast this weekend. As you heard Dave there mention, students at the University of Arkansas, they're getting ready for a winter blast.
Yeah, the students are stocking up on essentials like their frozen foods and warm clothing. I'm sure plenty of ramen. They're preparing for some snow day fun. Most are even waiting in long lines to grab those last-minute supplies.
I had to make sure I had everything I needed, like cat litter and all of that. And it was just packed. Like, all the stores were just packed whenever I was going through. It took like 15 minutes of waiting in line to get like one item. So it seems like everyone's getting ready for it.
So just real quick, the class is being dismissed at 3 o'clock today. My kid, she's a University of Arkansas student. She's like, we need to go to the grocery store. I'm going to be snowed in. So that's where we're going, right? As soon as we can.
Well, good luck to you because it's going to be busy.
Oh, yeah. I told her, make sure you layer up if you have to walk out there. All right. Meanwhile, organizations say that this winter weather event, which is nationwide, along with the flu surge, has led to a drop-off in those blood donations. The American Red Cross says in their latest report, they've seen a 35% reduction in the blood supply in the last month. The Community Blood Center of the Ozarks says they need all the donations they can get, especially O positive, O negative, and A negative blood types. They have locations there, Bentonville, Springdale, but will be closed on the weekend. Well, as the winter weather moves into our area, 5 News will stay with you throughout this storm. In addition to our normal newscast, we'll have live extended weather coverage streaming on the free 5 News mobile and smart TV app.
And a reminder that at 3 this afternoon, we'll be live on Channel 5 and 5 News Plus with a special hour-long newscast to bring you real-time updates, forecast changes, if there are any, and of course, how all of it will impact you and your family tonight.